As educational expenses rise, so does the strain on parents' finances. In today's world, the cost of education is become more of a golden ticket to opportunity. But for many working class families, it is not, because it feels more like chasing after a mirage in a desert full of financial struggle. You see, working class parents frequently have to make difficult choices about how to divide their meager and limited financial resources among their kids. Living in the post-COVID world, working class families rely on stagnant wages with the persistent challenge of inflation, not to mention rising living costs. Working class parents are finding it increasingly difficult to provide all of their children with a fair and proper high quality education. In the turbulent seas of post-COVID economic reality, the ship of education sails further and further away from the shores of affordability, leaving working class parents stranded on an island full of tough choices and limited means. This financial strain can have long-term implications on both the parents' financial stability and their children's future opportunities. It definitely leaves the parents to decide to make a more logical and more practical decision, in which is to focus on allocating their financial fund to the most smart and talented child into pursuing higher education and increasing their earning potential in hopes of breaking the curse of living in a working class family. Good morning, respected judges and fellow debaters. Before I go into my argument, let me introduce myself. I am Raiyan Bya, and we, the government, agree with the motion that this House, as parents of working class families, would allocate most of their money to support the most talented child in their family. As I have mentioned before, the financial burden put on parents from working class families into deciding the educational future of their own children is as of chasing a mirage in a desert full of financial struggles. The reality is that the cycle of poverty is very, very difficult to break. Even with hard work and determination, this leads to working class families into making a hard decision into, number one, providing equally for every child but not maximizing a great potential of one, or number two, maximizing one child in hopes of breaking this working class curse and in return break this non-stop cycle of poverty. I'll now address my first point of the argument. Number one, maximizing possibilities to end the curse of working class family. It may seem disgustingly heartless in a way to think that, that we are trying to justify the acts of putting one child as a major stock or a future investment of success rather than another. But that's not on what we are trying to point out. You see, some people would agree that giving and distributing the educational resources equally among all the children is the most fair way to ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. But that's just an imaginary fairy tale. Speaking of reality, if we put equality first amongst all children, the utmost and highest education that could be afforded by them is merely just still junior high or senior high school, thus even furthering the curse of the working class family towards future generations. It is more humane to allocate the fund and set one child up for success in order to lift the working class curse and begin to support and assist their family in escaping poverty. This approach may seem unfair on the surface, but in the long run, trust me, it can break the cycle of poverty and create a brighter future for generations to come. By investing in one child's education, we are investing in the entire family's future. You see, this is what you need to understand. What would you do if you were a parent in a working class family in which you face a daily basis of having to confront the horrifying and cruel world around you, knowing that your children's education is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty and providing a better future for your family? And I bet that every single person would agree with the motion that they would most definitely allocate their financial resources to support the most smart and talented person in the family. Because when you are in a working class family, you need to deal with reality. And guess what? The reality sucks. Reality sucks. Now going into my conclusion, onto the motion that the House believes that as parents of working class families would allocate most of their money to support the most talented child in the family, that this is not a selfish act done by parents, but yet a mere glimpse of hope into introducing everyone towards a better future. And in the long run, everyone could have access to education and a more successful future. And guess what? If we were presented with a singular opportunity to secure a brighter future for every single family member of our family, each one of us, without hesitation, would take it. That's why us, as the government, completely agree with the motion that this House, as parents of working class families, would allocate most of their money to support the most talented child in the family. That's all from me. Thank you very much.